In September of 1997, I appeared on Strange Universe for being able to shoot UFOs at will wherever I went. And it was a tremendous show. And the next day, they forgot to put my webpage, Sargel18.com, up on the show. The next day, Riser Entertainment could not do business. The phones were ringing off the hook by thousands of people calling, wanting to know my webpage, wanting to know more about this guy, Sargel18, what he was stating, his predictions, which I predicted when Mother Teresa would die on the show, the exact date, and she did on that date. But they refused to put that on because that was too hectic until I got the call for them after she had passed on the day that I said, and they're like, oh my God, you were right. And I said, well, you should have put it on. But that's just another story. But on that show, I predicted that within 4 months, I'm going to show the people, I'm going to make contact, and I'm going to show the people who are flying in these very strange, atypical UFOs. And basically, that was a career-breaking prediction. Well, it took a bit, and even I lost a little bit of confidence. I used to, the ones who are familiar with northern New Jersey, I used to walk Clinton Road at night, which is 12 miles of the most dangerous, loneliness, metaphysical, demonic road in the United States, and I used to bait myself. I used to park my car at one end of it and walk all the way to the other end and then walk all the way back. It would take all night, and with no guns or anything, just a knife on me, because I was using myself as bait. And I was desperate at that time. I mean, really, I didn't think it was, I was like, come on, I know it's going to happen, but, you know, I wish it would happen. So Tommy and I had a lot of experiences at the Vortex area, the back beach and under the bridge, in January of 1998, about a month to 2 weeks before contact. And they were tremendous experiences, so I knew kind of things were coming up. Now, on February 8th, 1998, which was a Sunday night, Tommy comes over to my house, and we're going to the Vortex that night, a Sunday night, and he's all happy that he brought this first digital camera that we had. We were shooting film before that, and I was using the VX1000 to shoot video. And he's like, "Look, Brian, look, I got this camera." And it was I mean, it was expensive at the time, but it was like it was like a half a megapixel or something. It wasn't that great, you know, with today's standards, but it was cool, and we were all excited. And no, we didn't go to the Vortex. He just came by because he wanted to show it to me that night. That was a Sunday night. And he did and all that, and I mean, this was his new toy. He was so happy. So he lived in Hoboken, and I lived by Wayne, New Jersey, so it was some distance. And he left for the night, and he took his camera with him, and he left. And this was downstairs in the basement. So after he left about a half hour, I went upstairs to make myself a cup of coffee, and I opened the door, and I looked there on the counter, and there's Tommy's brand new camera. And as soon as I look at it, and I go, and I was living with this woman, Lisa, at the time, and I go, "Lisa," I go, "Tommy left his camera?" And she goes, "Oh my God, he did? He was just talking about it. He was so happy." I go, "Oh no." I said, "My God." I go, "This is a sign. This means something." I said, "I got to take this camera to the Vortex. We got to take this camera to the Vortex." And so I call him, and I'm like, "Tommy, where's your camera?" And he's like, "It's right here." He goes, "Oh, it's not." I go, "No, it's here. You left it at Lisa's house. It's on the counter, the kitchen counter." And he's like, "Oh, I can't believe I did that." I go, "Neither can I." I said, "It's a sign." I said, "Tomorrow's Monday. After you get out of work, you have to go to the Vortex with me. We have to use this camera. It's important." And we're being tapped. Tommy was being tapped to forget his camera by divine providence and the beings. And this is how the beings can work for you. Not necessarily possess, but they guide you. Everybody thinks there's free will. Well, it's free will to a certain extent. But if you watch the way this went down, he left his brand new toy at the house when he shouldn't have. And I saw him put it in its camera bag that he was wearing around him. So I don't know how it got out of the bag and onto the counter. Me, as soon as I saw it, intuitively, right away, I knew this was important, and we have to go. So Monday comes, and Tommy got tied up with work, and he couldn't make it Monday night. So I said, "Look, the next day is Tuesday, February 10th, it was Tuesday." I said, "We have to go no matter what." He goes, "Brian, I'm going to go." He gives me a call Tuesday afternoon. "I can't make it. I have to do some doctor or something. It was something. I can't go, Brian." And I said, "Tommy, I have to go. I'm taking the camera. I'm taking the VX1000 camcorder with the tripods and all that. And we're talking about 40 pounds worth of gear on my back, and I'm going to the Vortex because I have to. I don't know why, but I have to." If I don't go, I'm going to throw up or something. So I went. Now, I get to the vortex. I get to enter the woods to the vortex. And where it is entering the woods, going to the path to the bridge, and then beyond the bridge another quarter or half a mile down into the river basin where contact happened and all the neat stuff happens. I walk in, and I'm walking down the path, and I'm kind of upset at the point. I'm like, man, I don't know why I'm here tonight like this, but something better come of this, I'm thinking. I'm carrying all this gear on my back. And all of a sudden I look to the left of the trail, and there's a black 4x. I think it was like a Chevy Blazer, you know, the big old type from the 70s. And two-door, you know, big tires and stuff. And I'm like, the first thing I noticed, no license plate on it. So I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And how the hell did it get here? Because there's giant boulders on one side, there's a river on the other. This thing shouldn't be here. So I'm nice and quiet. This is the middle of the woods. Remember, it's around 9:30, quarter to 10 at night in the winter, so nobody's around. I go to walk past it down the trail. All of a sudden, the door opens to this Blazer. A tall, blonde-haired guy comes out of it, starts walking towards me, and he goes, hello. He goes, can I go with you? And I didn't know that contact was going to happen in the next 45 minutes. I had no idea that it was. And I looked at him, I go, no. And I kept walking. I turned my face to him, and I'm thinking to myself, who the hell is this guy? And why the hell would he want to come with me? Or is he a nut or something, you know? Checked to make sure I had my knife on me. That's all I had. And I'm carrying thousands of dollars worth of equipment. And he just stood there, and I didn't look back at him. And I kept walking to the bridge. But when I got around the one turn of the trail towards the bridge, I stopped for a second and looked, and he was following me. Nice and quietly following me, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with this guy? Am I going to have to take this guy out? Like, what's going on here? So I get to the bridge, which is where I was only going that night. I was not going down. You're seeing this picture, folks, right now of the river basin where Teleahqua took the picture last week that we were talking about, and you see me standing there with that camera in my hand. I'm taking a picture. But I wasn't going anywhere near here. I was only going to the bridge because the equipment was so heavy on me, and I was tired, you know. And I get to the bridge, and I'm like, I think this guy's still following me. So I walk to the entrance of the woods to the trail to go down, which would lead me to this area, and I hide behind a boulder and look, and sure enough, this guy's still coming. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I said, I'll lose him. I'll go down to the riverbed. And I know he's not going to follow me there. And that is the last I saw of him. So I don't know. At the time, I don't know if he went, but I know who he is now. Or I know what he's about now because of what went down within the next half hour. So I go all the way down to this riverbed, and I walk out into the trail where you see right there, and the first thing I see are beings. And they're cloaked in invisible cloaking like the Predator. The movie The Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know how the Predator's cloak? Well, that is exactly how these beings do it. They reflect everything around them. But I could see it because it was a clear night, it was cold, and the moon on the angle that it was that night was coming over my shoulder, and it lit them up like a mirror. So I looked, and I go, hello. And it just stood and looked at me. I go, I'm not going to hurt you. So I go to touch it, and when I went to touch it, now I still had my equipment on. I hadn't set things up yet. I went to touch it, and it backed off. And when it backed off, I took one step forward. And when I took one step forward, all of a sudden I was in a lighted place, a lighted reality, planet, Earth. And far off in the distance was this beautiful crystal-type city, and I could see thousands of beings milling around. Like if you were standing at an observation booth and looking at Newark, New Jersey, or Fort Lee or something, where you see a city and people moving all around and congestion and stuff. I took a step back. I was in the field that you see in this picture. I took a step forward. Well, not really a step. I leaned back. I saw that. I leaned back forward. There's the Crystal City. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Oh, my God. So I come back out. I see the beings still around. And I quickly set up the VX1000 camcorder behind me. I put, well, you see where it says 1998 in this picture to the right of that, that was a Marlboro cigarette dome lantern that they used to give away in the 90s. And I put that there so, because it was dark out, I wanted to make sure that the camera was level. So I put that light there, and I put that right at the bottom of the frame, so I knew I was level. You see my knife on the side. I'm wearing my green jumpsuit. I have the Star of Wanaque on me, this opal that I wear, that I will talk about later about what this opal does and what it carries with it, which is a tremendous amount of energy. And I'm holding Tommy's camera in my hand, and I'm going, where are you? Where are you? And I see it, but I'm trying to take pictures of the aliens. What I wound up taking pictures were the first orbs. And I'll show you in the next couple of weeks what the very first orb pictures look like, and you're going to say, boy, that looks like crap. Those were the first orb pictures, and the progression was tremendous since then. But what you're looking at right here is the VX1000 filmed everything behind me. So every time I didn't use slave flashes at the time. Every time Tommy's camera would flash, it would light up like you see the field here, and the camcorder would pick it up. And what you're seeing here, folks, is the frame of contact. That is me standing there. You see this misty-looking circle thing about 35 feet away from me. That's 35 feet away. That's not close at all. And to the bottom right of it, you see the alien, the Andorian, which was silvery in color and had scales on it. Now, in this picture here, right away when I saw it, you see the reference is the energy, the doorway is made of energy. So you see the light from the camera flash diffusing off the energy. But the alien walked through and was standing there and dropped his cloaking is third dimensional, so the light reflects off the alien. So this was great evidence, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. And if you could bring the next picture up, please. There, what I did was I colorized it a bit and brought down the contrast. Now you can see the doorway better behind it. You can see the alien much better. And that's all I did to this picture. That's it. Next picture, please. Here is a close-up. Again, you see the doorway. Now you see the doorway, the energy doorway to the multiverse. This is the doorway that everybody's trying to find at the vortex. Is geometric in shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has 8 sides and has little holes in it and stuff. And I mean, I have yet to see anyone else take a picture of the doorway of a multiverse. And you can see the alien, and you can see his face in front. He's got like a Casper the Ghost type face. And that thing on front there is a horn, and his head goes back, and he's a reptilian. And there are good reptilians, and there are bad reptilians. Remember, there is always balance in the universe, even in the astral. So those laws still apply. Next picture, please. Here, I've broken it up a little bit. Brought down the contrast. The top left is the original picture. The top right, you see I brought the contrast down more. On the top left, I blued it out a little bit. Now you see the alien really good. And on the bottom right, picture number 4, I point out the geometric structure of the doorway, and there you can really see the reflection of the light reflecting off the Andorian alien right there. Is there another picture that went with that, or no? Did I have another one that went with this series? Okay. This last picture I'm showing you here, Dr. Bruce Cornett, a triple PhD, biology, paleobotany, and botany, was with me, and this night, the Andorians started giving me information on who they are, and he said that they were the race that came to Samaria and taught the Sumerians about Sanskrit, language, astronomy, science, and I told Bruce, I said, this is what he said. You know, I have no reference to this. I have to look it up. And Bruce remembered something that in the museum, the Sumerians had done a statue of the alien beings that came and taught them all their science in Sanskrit. Talked about the dog star, which we only found maybe 20, 30 years ago, and they knew about it 6,000 years ago. And he took a picture. They were called Nagas, pre-Suma Nagas. And he took a picture of it and put it in. And if you look at the alien with his horn on his head and the reflection coming off him to the right of the doorway, and you look at the pre-Suma Nagas, well, it looks pretty darn close, don't it? So that was another bit of validity that came with that. And this started it all. That doorway that you see right there. Can we go back a picture to where you really see the doorway well? Ryan, can we go back? Right. Okay, that's good. That's great. Behind the alien there, where you see that doorway, that's where the orbs first started coming in. And they didn't come in 1 or 2. They were coming in the thousands at the time. As if that was a hole, and the astral, the other multiverse, was a balloon, and all the air was coming out of it. And that is what it looks like. And when people say to me, and people say, hey, I made contact, or I had this, and you ask them for evidence, and they have no evidence. Or, hey, I killed an alien, but I wiped my sword clean, so I have no evidence there. And Tommy and I have met many, many, many people that have made this claim, and none of them has come up with anything even close to what you're looking at here. All right? We have it. My ego is strong. It is not egotistical. It's a strong personality because of this meeting alone, which started it all, I have in my coffer. And I have this video, and there are many more frames to this video and many more parts to it, shot in television quality, and I haven't even begun to touch that yet. I'm still waiting for a studio that can break frames into fields, and whoever listening that knows what I'm talking about knows exactly what I'm talking about. These beings move extremely fast, and in those fields are a lot more information. But yes, this is one frame from the contact video. No one else has anything like this, and this is what started it all. And just to let you know about orbs, you know, people are orbs this, orbs that, and all that. They got pages and pages of orbs, which 90% of them are dust. We dealt with orbs for about 2 days before we were hit with light slugs, beings, aliens, creatures. Within a month, we had 100 categories. So we never had the time to just make, oh, we got an orb, so let's make our whole career about orbs. I have more evidence, and Tommy has more evidence than I could show you for 5 years. I could show you for 5 years 10 pictures a day of different things for 5 straight years and still have more left over. And some of it is so mind-blowing that I can only show you 30% of it. But in this picture right here, this is the money shot. This is the thing that sets Sargel18 and Tommy Hawksblood apart from everyone else. And it was just the beginning, folks.